Good morning, this is Reed Stow from Rex Game Studios, and we are going to analyze the potential severe weather event for Wednesday, April 2nd, 2014. We thank you for joining us, and just kind of want to give you an update on the game. We are working hard on the game, and these events help us to be able to analyze severe weather so that we can use them towards the game down the road. So this is important. In the meantime, it is also important for us to be able to communicate with people what's the potential severe weather risk down the road. So let's get started. Let's move to our next slide, and we can see right now that we have a severe weather risk over a large portion of Oklahoma, southeastern Kansas, and Missouri, and also a large portion of Arkansas. I think the greater severe weather risk is going to actually be over in this area here along the dry line and the warm front region. I think this area is kind of it's too early to say that this is going to be happening, mainly because the upper level support's way over here, and we'll look at that in a second here. But I think this area is going to be too capped to really get any kind of severe weather. So really, I think the severe weather risk is going to be more along the warm front and along the dry line. As you can see here, this is the 250 millibar winds, temperatures, and dew point aloft, and as you can see, the main trough is still back into California and still has quite a bit of real estate to travel before we get an influence of that trough into the area where the severe weather risk is. I do believe that the rear exit region of the jet will make a portion or make a little bit of an impact here, and I think really the main region of possible severe weather is probably going to be the northeastern or northwestern portion of Oklahoma and the south central portion of Kansas along that dry line, and where the triple point might be setting up down the road. And we'll look at some models that kind of give a good picture of that. When we look at the 500 millibar winds, temperatures, and dew points aloft, winds are strong out of the southwest. Again, the trough is a positive trough. This will become neutral as it moves into tomorrow, and we'll look at that severe weather event tomorrow, but right now it's still positive trough. And my concern right now, the only hope that we have of breaking this strong capping inversion, which we'll get to in a minute, is this cold level trough that we have moving into Colorado and also New Mexico. Get down to the 700 millibar level, we can definitely see a dry air intrusion, capping inversion with dry air on top of moist air right now. It's going to be over the region where the most likely severe weather to be developing. Again, still trough is positive. Looking at the 850 millibar level, we have a very strong gradient of moisture that's lining up along the border of western Oklahoma, with several little waves of low pressure that are moving along in response to that main trough that's out west. Low-level jet right now, I'd love to see this a little bit more southerly than southwesterly. So I think we will see that as the upper trough begins to move into the region. We'll begin to see more of a shift, but the more turning motion at this level is in southeastern and south central Kansas, where along that dry line where I think we'll see more rotation with the actual storms. So looking at 925 millibars, a good southerly flow of 45 knots, very good. Varying winds aloft, obviously. Again, we see several waves that are going to be moving along today. We've got one moving in today that will be acting on that weather. I think this gradient here is going to be kind of staying here most of the day. Might shift a little bit westward this evening and then begin to shift eastward later tonight and early tomorrow morning. Let's look at the surface analysis. We got plenty of low-level moisture forcing its way up out of the Gulf of Mexico. Dew points already in the 70s, just west or just east of Oklahoma City. We got a warm front that's over northern Oklahoma and southern Kansas. I think if this warm front continues to push a little bit north, the areas that are going to be most active today will be south central Kansas and northern Oklahoma. I mean, anywhere here could have a severe thunderstorm, and if the thunderstorm actually breaks the cap, it will most likely become severe. But I think the more enhanced area for tornadic activity will be in this region here. North of Eden, around the Woodward area, north and northwest of Oklahoma City. Again, the dry line is kind of stagnant right now. It's not really bulging in any way, except in this region. I think once this trough moves out, we'll see it back up a little bit and then shove eastward. The best upper level skew T plot that we've got right now showing the best potential is over Oklahoma City. I'm sure we'll probably get some more later on. As you can see, we have a pretty strong capping inversion that we still have to overcome. I think temperatures of 80 degrees will be received today, and that capping inversion will probably be broken. The Cape values are greater than 2,000 joules per kilograms. We have strong vertical shear and strong directional shear, so rotation in the atmosphere is definitely there. Overall shear, though, is a little lower than I'd hope to be. It's about 40 knots. The LCLs are low. The significant tornado parameter is about a 3.5, which is sufficient. Lapse rates are +7, and low precipitable water values, so we definitely have a good chance for large hail of +1.5 inches or greater. Tornado-wise, I think right now the parameters are showing, you can barely see them here, anywhere between about an EF0 to about an EF3, borderline EF4. So it really depends upon what happens with the weather conditions. Now what I did is I pulled the models off of the HRRR, the Rapid Refresh model, and we're looking at 0Z this evening. And the reason why I pulled this one is because most of the day everything is pretty anemic for Cape values, but around 0Z the models are showing a bulge in the Cape values and also the dry line bulging up towards the northwest portion, and we see Cape values approaching anywhere between 2,500 and 3,000 joules per kilogram. So, but it's scattered, and it's from about Lawton to Oklahoma City, just east of Tulsa. So in that line there is where we see the higher Cape values and the more instability, buoyant air. When we look at the significant tornado parameter, the fixed layer, we see isolated pockets of +2, which would indicate, which is going to be really interesting, which goes along with the line with what the radar models are showing. But it shows that there are areas where there are some isolated high levels of significant tornado possibilities. So we're going to have to watch that in these isolated counties area. Anywhere from just northeast of Lawton to Oklahoma City, all the way up to just west of Tulsa. Finally, when we look at the actual composite radar at about the same time, and really this is the best time that we see a lot of isolated cells out here. So these are isolated supercells. Any of these have the potential of producing strong gusty winds of 60 knots or greater. I don't think there's a real major severe wind event that could take place with these storms. I think mostly it's going to be mainly hail, large hail, and there is a possibility of tornadoes, and some of them could be significant. They could be long-tracked or recycling as time goes on. And we're going to have to watch that. The thunderstorms that developed yesterday over just west of Dallas were very strong and recycled quite a bit. So for our parameters today, we have the positives: strong speed shear, strong directional shear, minimal low-level shear, and strong instability. But the cons is the trough is still away. It's positive tilt. The upper-level jet is still distant. We have a very strong capping inversion to overcome, and it's going to be really dependent upon that cold core trough to break that cap. So I think overall we have about a medium slight risk, better than a regular slight risk. This could become high though if things improve, so we're going to have to monitor this closely. We'll keep you advised as time goes on. Thanks for watching.